Hello. Welcome
Hi.
back to Arcade and Pinball for Everyone. This is episode 3. Justin, I can't believe we're doing 3 episodes so far.
Oh my God, we've made it to 3.
3. No, it's a milestone. Is it
That's
really?
right.
I don't know. When do you consider milestone things happening? Should it be silver? Should it
Ooh,
be 25? Should it be 50? Like, or
let's
should it
talk
just
about it on episode 10.
let's do that. If we get to episode 10, we are going to celebrate. So, yeah, here we are. Wednesday nights seem to be the best night for both of us. So, we're going
Yeah,
to try to play around with the time slots a little bit. So, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern might be the show time moving forward.
that's right. And B froze on my side. I don't know if that's just me. It could be that I'm frozen, but I'm going to continue talking because I can't hear B talk. Okay, is it B side that's
It's my side. My little
it's your
Wi-Fi
side?
thingy came up. I literally was just like, Justin, what's the biggest thing that happened to you this week? I'm like, why isn't Justin answering me? So, all right.
The
We got a lot
biggest
of
thing
things
that
happening.
happened to me this week.
Mhm.
This week is a really slow week for me. I'm about to take 3 weeks off work,
Ooh.
and a lot of people are taking time off.
Mhm.
Toward December, the last few weeks, everyone just like takes time off. So everyone's just pretty chill. We're coasting through the week. So
Nice.
nothing really exciting happened.
Nice.
I can't literally. I've been playing the race. What is it? The Stern
Turn Cup.
Cup race.
Yeah.
That's been fun.
Yeah. So you've been logging into Insider Connected, playing on locations, and you get points for different machines. I think you're beating me, so kudos to you. Bragging rights.
Well, I
But
saw Foo Fighters.
mhm.
All you got to do is get one shot
Mhm.
on the easiest mode. Was it New Orleans?
Yeah.
So I've been just
Easy points.
grinding.
Nice.
Dude, yesterday was so awesome. I've been grinding Foo Fighters so much
Nice.
that 3 times yesterday I made it to I beat 3 modes, and then I
Mhm.
had an option for Austin or DC, and
Mhm.
I got Combotron. Like
Nice.
2 or 3 times in a single night, because it was just like, I got it down now. I'm like, I go New Orleans, and then I make my way across the country. I do Roswell, and then I
Mhm.
do Los Angeles,
So
and
you
then
got
I
your order.
do, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 orders I've been doing
I'm
lately.
still enjoying playing Foo Fighters. Like, what's your grand champion so far?
Not high.
Mhm.
500 maybe, 500
Okay.
million. Yeah,
Okay.
you got
Yeah,
higher
it's a
than that,
little ways
right?
to go. Yeah, mine is about 890. So I still haven't done the billion, but I was playing on location the other day in a tournament at this place
Mhm.
called I Need a Miracle Pinball. Is the next time you come to Los Angeles,
Okay.
Justin,
Yeah, yeah.
this place is a pinball club. So the operator is this guy named Gerald, runs Pinball Wizards. It's now a club, so you pay flat fee every month, and it's all you can play pinball. And he just opened up a second room, so there's like 30 machines there. He's getting the latest titles, so he has a league that I just joined and played there. So I watched him play Foo Fighters, and he was like, "Oh, I'm playing this casually." He has like 1.5 billion, just like 5 cities. I'm like, "All right, I guess if you own that many pinballs and you play that much, kudos, Gerald. You kicked my butt." But it was a pro. I don't know. Do you like the pro? Have you played the Foo Fighters pro?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
whenever I play in a tournament, like
Mhm.
it's all pros.
It's all pro.
And so, there's a little bit of, like on Foo Fighters, you got to hit what is it called? The big ramp shot, the
Mhm.
Area 51
Yep.
like shot. You got to hit
The
it
top
5
area.
times to
Yeah.
start Area 51 on the
Mhm.
pro. But you just got to hit that back wall, right?
Mhm.
If you have the premium. So you got
Yeah.
to know is that about the only big difference?
Yeah, and then some
I
of
think
the
so.
cosmetic features, right? The van
Sure.
and the alien thing, but the second playfield is the biggest change.
Yeah.
All right. So today's episode of Pinball and Arcade for Everyone. I've done this in the past, but Justin brought together a great idea to talk about this year's pinball releases. And so I asked Justin to give me a list, and then I found a nice resource on Pinside where you can just type in the year and it tells you all about the pinball releases. So there's been 13 pinball releases. And you believe that, like in this modern age, right? 13 new machines for like any type of like big tech gaming company. It's pretty big, right? You don't see
It's very
13
cool.
arcades in our old like hobby of just home arcades, for example, right?
Right.
13 new products. It's a lot.
It's a lot. And
Mhm.
I'm really glad that we've been doing these trips this last year because
Mhm.
as we go through the list, we've played most of these.
Mhm.
But for me, not all of these are available locally
Correct.
in Iowa.
Mhm.
So when we go to Expo, we were able to play like Abba and stuff. So we can,
Mhm.
I think there's a game or two on this list that I haven't played,
Okay. And
but
there's
I know
definitely
someone
one
who's
that
played it, so I don't
okay.
know.
And the last one was Spooky's Evil Dead, which is still announced and in production, but I don't know if it's been on location yet. So that one might be even too early to tell, but we've seen some footage of it. So
That's
we
right.
can only speculate. But okay, so here's how we're going to do this. We've made a tier maker. So this is a tier maker where you can create your own template. I used to actually do this for Arcade 1-Ups. I did this like for 2 years where I put every Arcade 1-Up cabinets on here and kind of ranked them. So that was kind of fun. Had some community members actually make their own. But these are the 13 titles in order from beginning of 2024 to the latest announcement over here. And we're going to rank them from S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier. And I just like putting a trash tier as the lowest one instead of calling it D.
Right.
So that's kind of how we're going to rank it. Justin, have you already done this? Or are we going to do this live? Like, how are we going to do this?
Here's what I was thinking. So I'm going to switch over to my screen. So we have a tool that allows us to interact with those that are in the live stream. And so I put the link in the live chat. So if you're with us live, make sure you right now fast forward to live. Be as close to live as possible. Don't pause the show or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you're with us and you're on this I Am Agile website, the link is in the live chat. We have Pat in here so far, and we have Jeff Walsh. So let's do a test. There's probably a little bit of lag, but we can show the gameplay. So let's just say, how awesome is B's glasses? All right. Are they S tier? Is it A tier, B tier, C tier, trash, or you don't want to vote? So we have Andrew just joined us as well. I'm going to go ahead and make a vote. Now, I'm revealing the screen, so you're going to see my vote. I'm going to pick B.
Okay. So you pick
it
one of the
looks like
options at the
everyone's
bottom.
voting. We got Jeff. Is Jeff still with us?
Jeff, click one of the buttons on the bottom.
Now I can poke Jeff.
Okay.
I can. There we go.
Everybody's in.
We reveal it. There we go. Your glasses. B, B,
Thank you,
S.
Andrew, for giving me an S tier. I put C because I just cooked something and there's like I actually need to wipe it down. So thank you for calling that out. They're trash. They're close to trash right now, but very cool. So we can kind of get some collective community consensus as well. And then
That's right.
If you want to create your own tier list too, the link to that tier list is in the description of this video. So you can click and even make your own list and post it as well. It'd be really curious to see what everybody's lists are as well. So this is going to be a fun thing to do. So part influential, we'll be able to hear from each other to see what's happening. And then partly we'll get to see what the community thinks. So yeah, let's kick this off. And then for other topics, if we finish a little bit early, there's other things happening in the, I would say, home arcade space. I want to talk about some future projects I have coming up during the winter time. And CES is just right around the corner. So as much as we've been talking through the show, we're always speculating on what's that next thing that's going to happen. And for sure, there's going to be a new Stern pinball machine there. And there might be some other interesting home arcade products that will be interesting. So
I was thinking about it. So this week, right, our episode today is talking about the best of 2024.
Yes.
We're going to try to tier rank them. And then maybe next week, which will the next week's show will be on my channel. Maybe we'll talk about what could be coming out in 2025. Maybe that would be a good topic. All right.
Let's get into it. The first thing we're going to talk about is Jaws. So Jaws was announced last year at CES. This was actually one of the fun things that we did together. We got to see this at CES for the first time.
This is the Jaws.
I'm going to turn this down just a little bit so you can see it. What are your initial thoughts on Jaws from when you first played it to now?
This is going to be tough because I love Jaws. I'm not going to tell you how much I love Jaws just yet. When I first saw it, I didn't even know how great it was going to be. We were at CES last year. And for those of us that are joining in the Agile app, you can go ahead and mark your vote in. We got a few people in there. I think, B, you already voted what you think it's going to be. So everyone vote for Jaws. If you've played it, if you haven't played it, you can hit the coffee. You're like, I don't want to vote. Anyway, it's great. There's so many things you can do in this game. Like there's modes you can go into, there's challenges you can do, there's all these various paths, and it just makes the game so enjoyable. And at the tournaments I go to, everyone loves this game. It is
even in tournament mode.
Yes. So many people at the tournaments are like, I want to buy Jaws. Like they're like, another person's like, oh, Jaws is on my list. I gotta get it. These are some of the people that only go to arcades and don't own pinball. They're thinking about buying their first machine, and they're thinking it's gonna be Jaws. It's crazy.
This one's interesting for me because it was also one of those that I wasn't sure how to do this tier list if we should include the different trims. Because a pro experience versus a premium experience on Jaws was one of those like big drastic things. You lose the upper playfield, you don't see the Jaws pop out of the ground. And so I was like, do we independently rank them or do we do it collectively as a whole? I think for the purpose of this video, we're probably going to just talk about the collective whole
Yep.
experience and include all three versions of it. But I can see an argument for like obviously the premium and limiteds being a step higher if it includes something like the second playfield. So I mean, you own a premium, so you're a little bit biased,
Yeah.
but like, how do you feel the premium enhances this game? Do you think it's a must-have, or do you think people can still enjoy this with the pro version that doesn't have the upper playfield and Jaws is already up there permanently?
Okay, so I play the pro a lot as well when
Hmm.
I'm on a location, and
Hmm.
the main difference is there's a captive ball that you have to hit, and on
Hmm.
the pro it's just like a boat with the shark hanging out, and it doesn't
Hmm.
move at all. But when you have the premium, there's a lot of times that it's trying to signal to you that you need to bash the
The
boat,
ball. Hmm.
right? But when you have the premium, it's very clear. So if you're going after a shark, like the
Hmm.
Mako shark, you have to hit a shot and then you have to hit the on the premium, you have to hit the shark.
Hmm.
And so it comes out and he growls, and it's very clear that the only shot that's important to make
Hmm.
is the shark. And when you're playing the pro, I have to tell other people, hey, you're in that mode. You got to hit the shark. They're
Yeah.
like, okay. Like it's not as obvious.
Yeah.
The audio is there, but in a loud arcade, the audio is not enough to tell. So there's just
Yeah.
a little light. So
So
they're still
visually, the
hitting
premium
ramps.
gives you some more kind of like, hey,
Yeah.
you should do these things.
I don't know about must have
Interesting.
though.
Yeah.
It's because I wouldn't want anyone to, if they can
Hmm.
only get the pro, to freaking get the pro because
One of
it's
the
still
premium
awesome.
issues I've seen is that getting up to the upper playfield on that U ramp, the 180 ramp, sometimes it kind of falls down and then it gets stuck in that back area. And my local operator had to put another pinball machine or pinball in there to kind of like stop it from getting stuck. So I don't know if that's another issue. But otherwise, yeah, the upper playfield, you don't spend a lot of time up there. You just kind of flip it once and it comes back down. So you're not missing a whole lot if it's the pro version, but it does look empty in that back area. I gotta say, it's one of those things where like you can noticeably see a missing component of this in the pro version.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you're right. You're very right. If
Mhm.
I have managed to go up there
Mhm.
and I have a strategy where I can stay up there for a little bit.
Yeah.
If you hold on to the ball, you're up on
Mhm.
the upper playfield,
Mhm.
and you aim for there's a shot up
Mhm.
there. And if you hit it just a target, and if you hit that target just right, it'll come back and you're on the
Mhm.
flipper again, and you can
So you
actually hit
can
the
flip it a couple
reel.
times.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
interesting.
even
Okay.
spin the reel, grab it
Eh.
again, and then exit. So I hit all
Oh,
three shots while I'm
you
up
be
there.
fancy. All
It
right.
takes a
Okay.
while.
A couple people that were in the agile that kind of left it. If you want to participate in voting community wise, you can jump in, click on that link that's in the chat, and we're gonna reveal our first kind of ranking community wise. So hit the button. What do we get?
All right, so we got Willie, thank you for joining, and Jeff Walsh. We're going to
Mhm.
reveal everyone's votes. If you're just joining, oh,
Andrew
Andrew
came
just
back.
joined. There we
All right, you
go.
put it
Thank
back
you.
in.
Let's reveal the votes, guys. Okay.
Ooh,
Oh, we
interesting.
lost. Oh, Andrew, vote again. We got a few more people.
All right, Jerry
Let me
D is
poke them. Poke
here.
them.
Poke him here. Okay, so you put S tier. Willie G says S. Jeff is coffee. Jeff, have you not played this? I mean, I feel
Maybe
like
he
this
hasn't
is
played. There
one.
we go.
Yeah.
Jerry, I'm
All
poking
right.
Jerry.
Yeah. So for me, I think it's still an A game because I've seen where it started and where it improved and where I think it can still get to. I think it's one of those games that improve with some of the code updates. I love the Revenge of Jaws mode, actually. It's one of my favorite ways to play the game, just to
Yeah.
kind of play something different. So as a homeowner or playing it on location, trying some of those different modes have been fun. Some of the implementation of the video game features too, I think are kind of unique and cool. So it's kind of growing. The initial layout, like I had trouble with the layout, feeling like I was playing a really good game. I still don't feel like I've had a great game at Jaws. So that's why I didn't put it at S tier. Ton of potential, but I think people have really grown to like this game.
Okay, did you drag it over on your side? Because
Um, you're keeping it on yours? Okay,
I'm
yeah. So
keeping it
for
on
me,
mine, and then at the end we can see where
yeah.
we all
So for
land.
me, I'm moving mine into the A tier. So that's
Okay.
what I'm doing here. And then we'll go from there. So, and there's no right or wrong, by the way. So
Yeah,
in
yeah.
this tier list, this is all opinions and us sharing It would be interesting to see everybody's final version at the end of this. Okay, so the next game we're talking about is Multimorphic's Princess Bride. So this was announced early in February, but it didn't quite hit the scene for a little while. So Princess Bride Pinball, you and I finally got to play a little bit of this at
Yeah.
Expo. So what are your first thoughts once you finally
Oh,
got
no,
to?
no, no, no.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Princess Bride?
Okay, so me. All right, we'll switch it up. So
Yeah.
Multimorphic is a system, right? Um, it's either for you or not for you, right? I think if you've ever played this type of system where the upper play field is the physical part and there's a screen, it just feels like there are some things that are missing from the game. But that Cliffs of Insanity was one of my favorite wow moments at Pinball Expo. Like when that happened and that mode of trying to get the ball up there, like I look for things that are memorable, and I remember that like the first time I saw the building drop in Godzilla, I was like, that's a cool moment. So it's probably the most exciting thing I got to play, but I didn't get to play it much. So it's kind of the Multimorphic or you judging Princess Bride, but that's kind of my initial thoughts.
Yeah, that's good. So we got a couple votes in. Go ahead and vote if you're on the I Am Agile app. We got Pat and Willie and Jeff. If you guys want to go ahead and vote what your thoughts are on Princess Bride. We can vote by any means, however you want, but it's S tier, A, B, C. If you just love the look of it, you love the theme, whatever. We're not judging exactly why you're voting that way.
Yeah, Andrew says he wanted to love it, but he doesn't. So yeah, I think people were excited for the theme, but when they saw the Multimorphic, people were maybe like, "Oh, I wish it was a full pinball table." But look at that,
Yeah.
you can't get a full book like that on the screen. So it's kind of charming sometimes to see like theme integration in the video mode too.
Yeah, I really like this. My thought of Princess Bride is I'm comparing it. This is how my brain is working. I'm comparing it to the other multimorphic games that I've played.
Weird Al.
Exactly. And then they had another one there. Was it Overwatch or I can't remember which one it was.
I forget which one it was too, but yeah, it wasn't.
And
It's
that
not
was all
Overwatch.
right.
That's a video game, but there's a different one that came out recently.
Yeah, I've played I think 3 or 4, all with you, by the way. I don't think I've ever been in front of a multimorphic and you weren't with me.
Yeah, the one that I remember playing the most was the Weird Al one, which is also kind of a fun theme too. But their games that they have currently, Princess Bride, Final Resistance, that was the one.
There
so
you go.
Kind of it feels like
That's right.
kind of the atomic whatever it is. Final Resistance is
That one's
one.
fun.
Weird
That one was
Al.
fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's reveal the votes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Here we are. Let me get this out of the way.
Justin's very generous with the B.
Oh, we both agreed on B.
Oh, we did B. Yeah.
Other people were like a C. Interesting.
Yeah, we got CC's, Willie G, and Jeff is like, Jeff just wants to drink coffee all day. Are you non-committal to making an assessment because you haven't played it?
Look,
yeah, he's like, good. Yeah. He doesn't want to share it. So, but I think from out of the multimorphic themes, this is the one that excited me the most, right?
Yes.
So they got Weird Al was like their first kind of, would say, name brand theme, and then Princess Bride was it's a cult classic, right? So it's one of those that I think has potential, but unfortunately with the system, it's going to be hard to find it on location. So that's just going to be one of the things, right? If you want to try it, it will be hard to find.
Right. Keep track on your side, B.
Yes, I got to pull up my sheet. Hold on.
I agree. I think I voted C at first, but then I did switch to B because you reminded me of the Cliffs of Insanity. So I think it's like if there was any multimorphic I would buy, it would definitely be a Princess Bride.
Yeah,
but it's also
you get options. You could upgrade it later. What's the next title they're going to do, right? You never know.
But I still don't think it's enough to pull the trigger on that platform.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have good old Barrio's Barbecue from American Pinball. Did you get much time at this at Expo, or have you played it at the location?
Yeah. At Expo, I played it a ton.
Did you? Okay. All right. Tell me about what you think about this. So we'll just alternate going back.
Yeah, it sucks.
But Barry has Barrio's name on it. Who's Barrio? Do you know the story of Barrio?
He's a famous person in the community that passed away a couple of years ago. Is that right?
Yes.
He was a game designer, right?
Yeah. I don't know what his famous game title is though. So Barrio Pinball. I think it was like Whitewater or something like that, or I want to say that was like his biggest game that he did, but I'm not sure.
Isn't that Dennis Nordman? I don't know. Anyway, not sure. But the game, I don't know. I tried to like play it more. Like I
Mhm,
was like, this game's stupid. Like the
mhm,
theme is dumb, you know.
mhm,
But it does have a screen like Star Wars and what's the other one? 007, the 70th anniversary or whatever the
mhm,
$20,000 one. There's a
mhm.
screen on the playfield. That is kind of cool, and the shots are kind of fun. But every American pinball game is better than this
Then
game.
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was an interesting choice to come up with this. It's an original theme that has, a former pinball designer that is not as well known, I would say. But the shots itself, right? I think the marketing plan for this was like, put this in barbecue restaurants. You can put your name of your restaurant in the actual game itself too. So I don't think it just resonated with people. So from a theme perspective, I think it's not a great theme, and even from a game perspective itself, the shots I shot weren't as. I mean, it's an open play field. It's like everything is at the top. You see three bumpers in the middle. It seems like a very standard, like non-innovative playfield as well. I didn't see the wow moment for me, right? We talked about that in pinball, and there just wasn't one of those, unfortunately, for this. So, and with the competition for 13 new pinball machines, I would say this was one that fortunately didn't live up to its what they wanted to, at least from American
Yeah.
pinball. All right, so we're revealing.
I will say, on my list of podcasts to listen to
Mhm.
is why is it escaping me right now? There's a podcast where they
Triple J.
interviewed American pinball guy
Mm-hmm.
David Fix.
Mm-hmm.
The kill. No, what is it? What are they called?
Loser Kid pinball.
Loser Kid. There we go. Loser
Yeah.
Kid. They interviewed
Mm-hmm.
David Fix,
Okay.
and I heard from the Pinball Network that
Mm-hmm.
podcast with Zach Monet, and he was talking about it, and he
Mm-hmm.
said that David Fix said that the reason why they did the barbecue game is he leaned a little bit more into that.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to do it it's a white label game. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, wait, what? Like legit, you built a game so that people could claim it as their own
Yeah.
for the barbecue restaurant thing?
Mhm.
I think I saw it go down in price, like available for like $5,000. It's like a brand new machine. And anyway, we want to reveal now, right?
And dun, 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 dun. Oh my goodness, we got a lot of trashes. We got some C's from Pat and Willie G. And even Jeff says it's trash. He says, I can't judge things until I play it, but he's still calling it
This
trash.
is
So,
trash.
yeah, it's just
It's
one of those
unfortunate because
Yeah, I think so.
American,
Hmm.
they have a handful of games that are fun.
Hmm.
And you would think that a company would continue to progress and be like,
Mhm.
ooh, we know what works. We
Mhm.
know what doesn't work.
Hmm.
Let's do a game. And I've heard some of the controversy. They were going to do Whitewater 2, I think it was,
Hmm.
because they have the original
Yeah,
designer.
somebody was saying like it's an original, but it's based off of something. So I think that was definitely like, hey, it would have been a sequel to a well-known original title.
Yeah, but they did this one instead. So
Yeah.
yeah. They should have done like, hey, we're
Mhm.
going to do it. We're only doing 500 or
Yeah.
300 or something. It's a very
Sequels
special
to
limited.
pinball machines are kind of like the sequels to like old nostalgic movies. Like I think they could work, right? It still like gives you the ability to do an original theme, but with something that's familiar. Because how many like pinbots were there, right? Like that were like, oh, like I want to play that level of version of stuff. So I think that would be a really good idea to do an original theme if they wanted to, but in the style of something. So could have been good. Could have been good. All right,
Could have been.
our next one is Turner Pinball's Ninja Eclipse, which was a surprise for me. So is this my turn to go? Am I up?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right. So Turner Pinball, and this
Play a
is
game so
them
I can show you
playing
some of those.
some gameplay. They didn't actually have a good trailer for Ninja Eclipse. I was looking for one. I found all the trailers for the different games, but this is one of their first gameplay, folks. I don't think that's Chris Turner himself. I think that's somebody else that's just playing. But this is on their official YouTube channel, so you can kind of see it. It does. It kind of does, but I don't think it is.
I think it's him.
You think so? I don't think so. No, that's not.
There was a
Chris.
guy at the booth that was claiming to be Mr. Turner Pinball, and he looked
There
like
was,
that,
but that's not
like
him.
little
I saw other
cleaned up, maybe.
I'm pretty sure that's not him, but
Okay,
maybe.
Okay.
But anyways, look at the playfield there. You can kind of see it. This is from a first new pinball company's entry into the world of pinball. I think they brought one of the best value propositions to the pinball market. The price point of this is probably one of the most exciting things. It's around, I think, 65, 7,000 right around that price point. So it's the
Yeah.
price of a Stern Pro, if you will, but it's packed with a lot of features. It
Yeah.
already has, expression lighting on the side. It has kind of this really unique glass innovative lifting for future maintenance that if you haven't seen that, that's kind of a fun way to open up a glass and it kind of hinges up and removes. But the game itself, this was one of my top 3 favorite games at Pinball Expo. So just personally, I had a ton of fun playing this. I just kept going back to it.
Yeah.
And the shot that I liked the most was the scoops kind of jump from scoop to scoop. So it's kind of like you're scaling a wall. So he's kind of pointing at it. You jump into one scoop on the right, it jumps to the left, and then it pops it up to that right flipper, and you can get into the pop-up. So that was like my wow moment for that pinball machine.
I don't think I managed to do the scoop to scoop shot, but I saw other people do it. Maybe I saw you do it. I agree. We kept on going back to this game at Pinball Expo.
Yeah.
And I think by the end of it, they hit their record of they wanted to sell 100, and I think they did, like by that weekend or something like that. Soon after Pinball Expo.
Yeah.
We were all talking about it was the only game that's from a very extremely boutique company that feels like you're playing a Stern Pro.
Yeah. And so
the quality is so there.
The story of Turner Pinball is pretty amazing too. There's a couple people that have made kind of videos and interviews with him. I think even P-Dubs did an interview with him and talked about kind of he was formerly in another pinball company that turned up belly up. And so he took some of those resources and moved it to this, put all his investment into it. So if this was the first they did and they sold out at 100, I'm really excited to see what the next one, if they can do, an actual, I would say, get licensed for whatever licensed pinball machine. But as an original theme, there's not a lot of ninja themed pinballs out there. So it's a comic theme. It actually comes with a comic book too. I didn't get much into, like, you don't know the story, so you kind of have to follow along. So, but the modes seemed fun enough. But the innovative of the game, it was good. It had decent shots, and I actually played a game where I felt like I was doing a lot of stuff. I started a mode. I was fighting a boss fight. I did the scaling. So when a game you play for the first time, you're able to feel like you're progressing. They capture some of that spirit of easy to play, hard to master.
Yeah, 100%. It was very good. I wanted to see if I could share my screen on it. Like so this ramp that was right here was a tight shot, and then it had a flipper right there, so it could easily bounce if you didn't hit it just right. And then how did it work? You could come around and then boom up, right? Like it was a little orbit right there.
Over again. It like kind of loops around to that. So that's kind of your little loop shot, hitting that over, and that powers up your shots too, to like get into different things.
And then there was this target way in the back there, right, that you were trying to hit.
It's a drop target in that little volcano section in the back right there. Yeah, and that would start up different modes and fight bosses and things too.
So there's the playfield doesn't have a lot of toys on it. It does have the 2 scoops that can go back and forth, and but they made use of all of that really well. It's a really great layout. A lot of fun.
And the cool thing about this company is that they actually redesigned this a couple times. They brought it to TPF a year ago, and it was the same playfield, but in a smaller, like full body cabinet style. And like people trashed it, and they went back to the shop, redesigned it. So kudos to Turner Pinball. Glad you sold 100. He kept asking, was like, "Hey, you want to get that last 100?" I was like, "If you get to 99, like we should just be like, hey, last one." But I think he showed it a couple of days after that. So
I think on the front they added the coin door, right? It didn't it looked too home pin and cheap. They're like, no, just put you got to put a coin door on there, right?
Yeah. It's get $69.94, so $7,000 for a pro model. All right, so midlife, and
come on, midlife.
If you want to vote, we're gonna do the reveal of the community feedback so far. We got 4 pins in. We have about 30 minutes to get through 9 more. So
there we go.
Let's get to it.
Oh, right. Andrew, come on. There you go.
Back in. All right,
Jeff. I'm gonna hit reveal.
All right, hit that reveal. And Jeff,
okay, I'll hit the reveal. All right. Andrew and B. Oh, you went A, huh? Midlife
For
A.
me, like as a top 3 favorite game.
Trash.
Jeff, he's like, nah, I'm not about it. So I really enjoyed this game. If I went to see it on location, and it's gonna be hard to find it on location, it would be one of the first games I go to play, just because I had so much fun. And I like following stories of pinball, creators and things, and just knowing sometimes you like the people, kind of like I arcade people just loved Jong to some point, that you like the product. I kind of like Turner, like Chris Turner. I think he's a really cool dude and his story is really cool. So I want to root for him so his
Yes,
company does well too.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah. But is it the level of Jaws? I mean, I guess just
I think
personal
it's
opinion.
like I say it's a B.
Yeah.
But if it was like a Kung Fu Panda or something like that, like
Oh,
they just
yeah,
changed
that's
the theme a
true.
little
Hmm.
to that,
Could be there.
yeah.
All right, next up, I don't have a lot of thoughts on this one, but it's Abba Pinball. So let's
Oh.
talk about Abba. All right, you're up.
Let's see. Abba Pinball. Let's see. What is their famous song? How does it
Dancing
go?
Queen.
Dancing Queen. Yeah, so we
Young
played
and
this at
free,
Expo. It was kind of near Alien, right? Is that
mm-hmm.
Brother
Pinball
Pinball?
Brothers. Yep, they did
Pinball
Alien, which
Brothers.
is a great theme too, but some people hated that game.
And then they also had right in that area the Freddie Mercury, what was it? Queen?
Queen?
Yeah.
I didn't get to play that though. They had Queen there? Oh, I missed
They had
that.
Queen.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I'm trying to think. So Queen was okay. It kind of had like a kind of a mid play field you had to try to get up to, if I remember
Mhm.
correctly.
Mhm.
Alien was a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah.
But Abba,
This helicopter is like the most like a unique thing about this is that little kind of helicopter toy. So I was trying to figure out, like, this can actually lock the ball in the little kind of helicopter. See, like there's a little ramp that you can kind of get into the copter, so the balls stay in that little cockpit area. I want to do that. I feel like that's supposed to be a moment. I just couldn't get it to happen. It's like one of those things where I played it just a handful of times, and I'm not a huge ABBA fan. I think that's the only song that I know from
yeah.
ABBA. So from a theme standpoint, it isn't quite called to many folks out there. So this one's tough for me. I feel like I wanted to put more time on it. It's like Jeff. Like, I almost want to put coffee, but it didn't. I didn't hit that wow moment in like the 2-3 times that I was able to play it. So
I
yeah.
agree. I
Mhm.
think, yeah, you had to hit the shot. It's in the
Mhm.
back, right? And then
Mhm.
it's like a weird vuck that brings it up into the helicopter.
Mhm.
And then you ball lock. And does it? I don't know. Yeah, someone got the ball lock when we were
Mhm.
there, but it
Yeah.
wasn't exciting, I don't
Mhm.
think. It was like, oh, okay, now the ball is in the helicopter. Okay.
Yeah. There it is. All right, let's see if we can get through it. Jeff, make that vote and see if we can do a community reveal of Pinball Brothers ABBA. Again, this is one that probably isn't in a lot of locations. Like, I've not seen it on location anywhere. The only place that I ever saw this was at Expo. So if I see an ABBA, I'd be happy to play it more. But it's just not one of those that I think is gonna have a lot of machines sold or be on location anywhere. So
Yeah.
all right, hit that button, Jeff. Gives us
Jeff
the
is
trash.
again.
Jeff's all about that trash. Willie
Willie's
D's
like,
I
yeah,
love me some
love me some
ABBA.
ABBA.
But otherwise, we got all C's across the board. Like, there's some potential there, not complete trash. But yeah, I think I agree with that. The community agrees. I think we're in that C mode right there. So very good.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, I'll reset the vote and we'll go
Mhm.
on to the next one here.
All right, so ABBA for me is in the C chair. So we're almost the same. We just kind of like changed a little bit on Ninja Eclipse. So our tastes are kind of similar for now. Our next one was announced and released at John Wick. So John Wick by Stern was something that came out in, I think, around May-ish timeframe. I was one of the first people that had the opportunity to play this before it was released, and I got a lot of shit for it.
That's
So
right. You don't deserve to play that.
I don't deserve to play John Wick before other people, apparently. So, I have other feelings
Who the
about the
heck
John.
is BCom?
Who the F is this wackadoo? Like, I have no
Oh, that's
idea.
right. They
Yeah,
called you Kaneda called you a
Kaneda called
wackadoo.
me a wackadoo because, like, who is this guy and why does he get to play this before everybody? Stern botched this like crazy. The launch of this was the worst release in the history of John Wick. There's no guns. There's not the community following this through. It was a disaster from a launch perspective. But the game itself, I don't know. I think the game itself has gotten better. The last code update has made it much more fun and playable. I still hate how it's a lower scoring game. I think that's one of the thing that you want me to turn down the volume? Is it like really
Oh,
low? Okay.
I guess I could do
Okay.
it from here. I did.
Yeah. The game itself is such a low scoring game that I feel like when I play it and I have a good game, I get pissed that it's not higher. I think low scoring games just make me mad. And so
Turtles is like that.
Turtles is like that. I'm like, I only scored 100 points. What the heck? So I mean, like John Wick, by all means, like I feel like it should just have better codes with better scoring. It would just make you feel better. Like, you don't want to leave a game feeling like I only scored 30,000 points and I played this for like 15 minutes. So I think that's the worst thing about it. But the new code has made it a little bit more bearable.
Yeah. Biggity is right. John Wick is a good tournament style table.
Mm-hmm.
So as of about 3 weeks ago, I would say this game's trash.
Mm-hmm.
And we play it a lot at the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime anytime we're playing against on John Wick, I'm just a loser on it. Like, especially
it's rough. It's rough in tournaments. Yeah.
If you basically can get a billion, typically on a game, which some of the tournament players that I play with can, they're awesome at John Wick, which means if you're medium to okay player, you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
However, about 2 weeks ago, one of those tournament players was like, "Look, dude, just aim for the captive ball to spell, what is it? Wilson or something like Winston."
The Winston.
Yeah, he's like, hammer that down and then hit the ramp right to the left of it. Do that 3 times, you'll get into a multi-ball. And then you do some shot to qualify. I can't remember which it is. I think it's the car.
Yeah, so car multi-ball, and then there's the Continental Winston light up multi-ball. Those are the two main multi-balls.
And then he was like really, really focused on keeping that ball alive.
Yeah.
And then I was doing, now I love the game. Like, I'm really enjoying it because he just gave me that one little tip.
And now you figured out what to do.
You need to throw $10 into that game and just do the strategy over and over again. And then all of a sudden I was getting 20 millions and 40 millions. I'm still not great at it.
Yeah, but you enjoy it more.
You only need to get above about 10 million.
Really?
Yeah.
Just 10 million?
Because there's if you're paired with a top player, he's gonna get 100 million. Yeah. But everyone else is gonna get 2.
Yeah, okay.
So
I guess that's
like
true.
10,
Yeah. So it's a couple of things have so the biggest change in code update is that Winston building used to have to hit it twice, and then it would unlock the ball lock, and you would get to lock a ball, and then you have to hit it again twice and then lock the ball. So the biggest code update was that now you just hit that captive ball 5 times, and now it unlocks it permanently for you to lock 3 balls on there. So I was like, oh, that's a big change. They did adjust some of the scoring as well too. So I noticed that was a kind of a big change. The other things that have it's really, if you whiff a shot, it's really not forgiving. A game like Godzilla can kind of like survive, but if you miss the ramp shot and hit the post, games that have tons of posts everywhere, if you're not great at pinball, like you were saying, it's easy to drain back down the middle, go off to the sides. Like, this is just a drain monster in that sense. So that's why I think casual folks like, hey, it's kind of fun, but it's not going to be, you're not going to have a great game maybe once out of every 10 times instead of like Godzilla like every 4 or 5 times. So I think that's why it's harder for casuals to pick up.
Yeah.
This is also one of those, again, stirrings with the premium and the pro. This is one that actually benefits from not having a ton of extra for the premium side. So pros, people have said like, they prefer that besides the big open section. The car isn't that big of a deal swinging out in terms of a toy. And then the little oath marker isn't that big of a deal, it opening up on the left-hand side. So this is one of those like, oh, people can get away with the pro, and people that got premiums or limits are like, I didn't get enough value because there wasn't a lot of stuff. Because you compare the bill of parts and components of this, like compared to like X-Men, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And it's just like, I can't believe these two are the same price point, right? Like in terms of what's included. The other thing I don't like about this, I still don't understand, that guy right there, I forget his name. He's the developer, he's the coder. They introduced
Sexton?
He maybe Sexton, and then
he's a YouTuber. Have you watched him?
Yeah, he is a YouTuber.
He's great.
Yeah, he talks about some other non-stern things.
About, you watched the one about AI?
Something like that. Yeah,
it was good.
I subbed him and I was like, oh, but he was like boasting like, oh, there's this new AI technology where like enemies will show up at random locations. I have no idea what the hell is going on with that. Like they pop up everywhere, and like it makes no sense. In terms, it's not intuitive enough to play. So I think it's like there was potential, but I think still has ways to go. All right, let's get to it, Jeff.
I will one more thing I'll say. If you're into buying the pinball machines, this is one of those games where you can get it cheap. Like
Mhm.
for whatever
Mhm.
reason on the used market, I
Yeah.
think I saw one of these at for like 4 grand on
Really? Okay.
Captain's auction.
Yeah.
This and Venom and Mando are just like
Yeah.
really low in price, like their resale value is. And I think it's just because it's not a popular game, but that
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's not a good game. Do you
Yeah.
know what I
It
mean?
suffers from also having just new designers on it. Doesn't have kind of extra credibility, prestige behind it, but it's still a Stern game. It's still like a decent title. And Keanu Reeves, like he's in the callouts now, so it's gotten a little bit better. No
Oh,
guns
is he?
though.
I didn't catch that. It's hard to
Yeah.
hear at the
Yeah.
arcade.
All
Okay.
right. Here you go.
Oh, got some
Yeah.
B's and
You
C's.
listed this as an A?
I did list it as an A.
An A?
I don't. Yeah,
Huh.
I've been thinking about the other ones. I
Mhm.
got a lot of B's here, and
Mhm.
something's got to get into the A.
Okay.
And so I think it's an A today because it's got a lot of fun ramps. It's got a lot.
Okay.
The theme is not great for
Mhm.
me, but
Okay.
it's got so much going on it.
Mhm.
If people and I'm starting to get there where I can keep the ball alive. Keep in mind the tournaments with this game.
Yeah.
There's no
Mhm.
ball saves for when we play the tournaments, which has actually helped me because it's like you're that
Yeah.
much more fearful of draining. So you're like keeping the ball. You're like capture it. I got it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a safe shot, and then I'm gonna catch it, and I'm starting to like it.
I
I'm
almost
starting.
wanna invite Jeff onto the program because he's like, "Sorry, trash again." Like, I wanna see Jeff's tier list. Jeff, can you make a tier list of everything that you put in
It's all
every
trash.
trash? So, he's grading his own right now. Biggie D says we're gonna have fun at CES. Oh, we are. We are for sure. Okay, so the
Yeah,
next up on the list, we have a several more to get to. You forgot about this game. It was Pedretti's Funhouse. It wasn't on your list. Talk about why
yes.
you forgot about
Well,
Funhouse.
okay, I when I was messaging you, I was like, here's a list of all the games that I know we both have played
Okay.
in 2024.
Mhm.
So this one, I don't. So I've played the original,
Okay.
but I don't think I've played the remake.
Mhm.
There's no way I played the remake because I
You
was like,
didn't
when we
you
were
didn't
at
play it at
Expo,
Expo? Yeah,
I
they had a
don't.
whole booth there. The pinball company, like Travis Murrier, like, from the pinball company.
Yeah, I
Like,
chatted with
that's
him,
his
but
booth. Yeah, he works at the pinball company. He actually helped with the development of this, like, his company, so you didn't get to play it?
I was playing the original, and
I
I've
see.
played the original at a
I
few
see.
locations.
Can you reset the voting for the
Yeah,
next one? Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
Um,
so you didn't see the difference. So I asked them, I actually did a whole interview there, and I need to post it. There's actually a lot of
what?
Pinball Expo coverage I haven't posted yet. I have a top 10 video favorite things, and I did a whole video where I interviewed Travis and the Pedretti team about Funhouse. So
Dude,
I need to release
yes.
it so you can see it. But there are differences between this and the original. So there's actually gameplay differences, like some of the different modes and features. So yeah, while physically things look the same, they actually did update some stuff. And Pedretti, the pinball company, worked with the folks at Pedretti and helped give them some of the advice from Travis, who's a professional pinball player, on like, here's some things to think about when you redo this and upscale this to LCD and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. I had enjoyed, and I got to understand and hear from Travis, who's one of the best pinball players. Like, he's ranked, I
Yeah.
think, in top
Very
100.
good.
He's really good. I love his
His
tutorials.
tutorials are great. Yeah.
So good. If you're looking to play this in a pinball like tournament or something, and you want to learn how to play this, definitely check out the pinball company and his stuff. So
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
right.
When we met him at Stern, that's the first thing I told him. I was like, dude, I
Yeah.
love watching your tutorials. They're
I do.
so good.
He's tall. He's much taller
He
than I
is tall.
expected. Tom Graff is tall too. They're all tall. I didn't get to meet Joel though. Did you get to meet Joel Engelberth?
I saw him,
Yeah.
but no,
Yeah.
I didn't. I didn't get to meet him.
Yeah. All right. So
Him and
reveal.
his brother, right?
Yeah.
Okay, come on, Andrew. Let's do this. Let me poke him. So at work, we use this tool, and then if
Oh, this
someone's
is fun. I might steal this. This is fun to kind of do some voting. Yeah, I like
yeah,
that.
like
Jeff,
every ticket at work that like we'll get
yeah.
a ticket, right? It's like,
Uh-huh.
oh, we got to build this thing. We're like,
Mhm.
how many days do you think it would take? So we do a 1, 2, 3, 5, 7 Fibonacci thing. So we're
Yeah.
not doing S tier and A tier, but it's cool because you can do it over Zoom,
Mhm.
and our project manager hits
Yeah.
reveal votes, and we all see it, and then we
I think
discuss
this
it.
is an original IP though. Like it's based off of like, just in general a funhouse kind of horror type thing, but I think it's original, right? I don't
I
think
don't
it's an
know.
actual based off of
Like
anything.
who owns the rights to
Yeah.
Funhouse as a
Yeah. Like
as a
Rudy is the the doll character. So I
I
don't
just
know.
always
That's a good
assumed it
question.
was like an
Mhm.
original game, and
Yeah, I
Rudy
thought so too.
was.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, good question. All right, Andrew, vote.
Here we go.
And all right, Justin has it as a B. Pat has it as an A. Colin L says it's S tier for
Oh
him. For
wow.
me, this is an A for me. Like I thought it was a very well done remake. When people talk about like remakes of like Attack from Mars and some of these other like classics, this is a modern version of like one of the better pinball machines that's recognizable. So put some more time into it, Justin. Find an
I
location,
will. I
get
would
some
if it was
time
a
into it.
Twilight Zone remake, I would probably give it an A or an S. But
Yeah, for sure.
I'm
Yeah.
comparing like I've played Twilight Zone
Hmm.
and I've played Funhouse, the
Hmm.
original, and
Yeah.
Funhouse is fun.
Yeah.
It was fun, right? It's got the double
Yeah.
shooter lanes and
When you watch the interview when I posted it, because like once Travis explains what you need to do to start modes and things, I was like, oh yeah, I finally understand. You're not just trying to like loop it around and hit his face all the time. You're trying to get into different modes and things too. But it was a little complicated to like pick up and understand. I think sometimes like when you walk up to a game and you're like, oh, I kind of intuitively know what to do. Funhouse has a lot happening on the playfield, and sometimes it's hard for a casual to be like, I actually know how to play the game versus just trying to hit a shot. So but I think it's still better than Wick and Princess Bride, and I would rather play that than any of those. So that's kind of how my rankings. If I walk up to a line
yeah,
of these, where would I kind of play first? All right.
I could see
You
that.
don't know that Connell X-Men is gonna win. You don't know.
We'll
You
have to
don't know.
find out.
All right. Well, next up is Godzilla 70th. So it was a re-release of Godzilla, one of the best pinball machines of all time, but just
How are we
in
voting on
black and
this? Are
white.
we voting on how good
Just the
Godzilla
70th.
is?
No. Just yeah, whatever you want. However you want to rank this. This is its own remastered, whatever, re-release, reskin, but it was something that they put market into and released at Comic-Con.
I want to separate okay, think about it.
Mhm.
If Godzilla was on this list
Yes.
and Godzilla 70th was on this list,
Hmm.
would you vote the same way?
Well, it's kind of like the pro premium thing too, like you're talking about. I think we have to I do think we have to judge it like now that like they're separate machines, like in the same trims, just based off of looks and other like there's no other feature changes besides looks. It's purely cosmetic at this point, because there's no other game features that are different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, thoughts when you first saw it. How'd you think? Do you like these black and white versions? Did it make sense to you? Is this like from attractive enough for you?
Not really.
Hmm.
I'm not I think the original Godzilla is great with color.
Hmm.
And I appreciate that
Hmm.
the first Godzilla movies are black and white,
Hmm.
but I also think they could have
Hmm.
just like when you started the game,
Hmm.
they'd be like, "Hey, we're going to make the entire LCD black and white."
Hmm.
Like it's a mode
Yeah.
you can choose.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
you want to play the black and white version? And the whole machine's still color, but it's like
Yeah.
they made the game black and white just kind of like when you press the right button,
Hmm.
it's all in Japanese. All the
Hmm.
call outs are
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Japanese.
Yeah.
They could have been like, oh, and you can press it again, and it's a black and white version.
Yeah, does it make the ball harder to see? No, not necessarily. Like once you're in it and playing it, like you can kind of see where it's going. But I get your point, right? Like there is contrast when you're seeing a silver ball against a silver background. From a cosmetic standpoint, I think I was more. It looks better in person than it does in pictures and video. I think the metallic shine of the sides, like it makes it attractive to kind of look at and be like, oh, like that's kind of cool. I do think this is one of the best machines of all time. And there's
Yeah,
so many people that own this and have it on
you're
location.
making me
I
change my
just
vote.
think it wasn't enough change to be able to get people to either upgrade to this. I don't think people knew if it was an upgrade to this. It really was geared towards, I think, extreme collectors and are people that I didn't have the original. That like, hey, this is an option for you. That's kind of cool and limited. But yeah, I for me, it's still a great game, obviously, but from an attractive standpoint, I still like the original better. Okay,
Yeah,
let's get to the final votes.
here we go.
Andrew, Jeff.
Come on, Jeff and Andrew.
Yeah.
I gave it an A.
Yeah. I mean, it's
We
still a
agreed
great
on that
game.
one.
It's just not like S tier like Godzilla would
If
be, right?
Godzilla was
It's
on
a
the
step
list, I
down.
would do S tier.
Exactly.
The
So I
original.
would say the 70th is kind of that step below.
Oh,
Willie D is
Willie?
like, nah,
Nah.
it's still trash. It's Z.
Yeah.
It's a C. It's a C.
Jeff went with a B
Andrew?
though.
Yeah, Jeff, look at that B. It's not, yeah, look at you. Respect that. I like that. I like that. Okay, we just got a handful of games. We were down to, I believe, the final four. Like, I had like, when I, oh no, there's five more. Holy crap. All right, we got to hurry this
We
up.
gotta.
We got to hurry this up. We're moving through.
Okay.
Okay, so I have a lot in my A tier list. We have five more titles. Next up, X-Men. Like, I can't believe X-Men was announced, and then there was four more titles after X-Men released. But yeah, there was. X-Men, the latest, second to latest Stern that was released. Talk about X-Men. What do you think?
X-Men's an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
It is a very unique layout. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of new things that you've never seen in pinball.
Mm-hmm.
There's this weird corner 180 shot that's kind of a
Mm-hmm.
wow fun moment.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the ball going really fast, it's really cool to see that happen. The danger room is excellent. You can get into a rhythm of not draining the ball when it goes into. So there's a lot of you know how you do when you have you done a thing where I don't know you're kind of like a ski jump where the ball comes down the left to the left flipper and you lift
Mm-hmm.
it early so it jumps over to the right side. So you're kind of playing this thing where as the
Mm-hmm.
ball is rolling up, you purposely hold up the ball so it'll roll back.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of happens in the danger room where like as it's falling onto the flipper, you'll lift it up so it will roll and you can catch it
Back on the thing.
and
I
you hit
see.
it just right so it'll come around, you know, the what's it called? The little loop up there, the ramp
Mm-hmm.
up
Yeah,
there.
to get back on the Cerebro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of fun. And it's crazy when you play that.
But
If you
it sucks
guys
in multi-ball. It's it's so
yeah, when you
crazy.
have
Yeah.
ball save, I just let that
Yeah.
drain.
Yeah.
Don't spend time over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But I have had it where I've had a
Mm-hmm.
ball in
Mm-hmm.
multi-ball. I'm cradling on both
Mm-hmm.
the mini flipper and the left flipper, and I'm trying
Yeah.
to not drain either. And
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm. All right, Con L loves this. He says, awesome thing, creative layout, right? Do you guys find it difficult speaking normally about pinball? I mean, draining balls, team pandery. We love talking about balls draining all the time. I mean, there's a whole podcast that calls Triple Drain.
Right.
So yeah, this game for me, when I first saw it, it was just like mind blowing. I think the unique layout, Jack Danger, two behind the scenes. I was already excited because I knew what he did with Fu. The first thing that kind of turned me off initially was I think the even though Zombie Yeti is a good artist, I didn't like the moving animations on the screen in the back glass. I think one of the first things I saw. And so like once I got over that, I was like, okay, otherwise the rest of the artwork I thought looked really great. That was just like, oh, the moving animations look funky. And then the layout, like once I played it, was fun until I started playing the second one and the third one, like different machines, I mean. Because every
Oh,
machine I played differently because like it almost like you have to set up this machine perfectly for all the shots to work appropriately. Like I was having shots where like I wouldn't get up the ramp for something, or the like, you know, the figure eight shot wouldn't go all the way for some reason because the angle of the ramp is up. Like I've heard there's been some physical issues with the layout of this game, like hindering, you know, some of the gameplay itself. Like have you felt that? Like how do you feel playing yours versus playing on location? Do they feel different, the same? Is that an issue?
yeah. So I've seen those complaints.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't see those on the two machines that I play often. So I have one, and then there's a pro where we play the tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
And if you hit the action button, you know, you let it auto plunge, it'll make it around. If you pull the plunger 100%
So the
all the
auto
way,
plunge, it'll work. It'll go
right?
out. Okay.
Yeah. And then they made an update today,
Mm-hmm.
just like a few hours ago.
Mm-hmm. I did.
And so a lot of people are complaining that they made the skill shot originally like dependent on whether you had enough power and the level being just right to make it around.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did, I don't have it figured out just yet, but I read through the notes and I think I understand it. They made it where you can get secret skill shots by short plunging. So they're
Oh,
like,
so
no,
you
no,
don't
no,
have to
no, no.
like
You
you don't have
can,
to full plunge and aim for a shot.
y-
You can actually truly skill shot using
and,
the plunger.
and I did that where I didn't pull it all the way.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 90%. and
Mhm,
it didn't make it around the ramp, and it
mhm.
came back down, and it was like skill shot. And I was like, oh, that's
Oh, I
smart.
see what you
You
did.
made it
Okay.
like a feature.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Home edition of X-Men, I don't know if they would. Like they'd have to strip it down a lot. Like home editions have like almost completely different layouts and features. But I was also like, the Sentinel and the playfield, there was just a lot of fun toys. Like I was talking about this compared to John Wick. Like these two machines came out in the same year. And you look what's on a John Wick playfield in terms of toys and RAMs and features, and you look at this, and like they're the same price. And I mean, just like from a value standpoint, like X-Men really, I think, has a lot of potential still. So I'm
Right.
hoping some of those small tweaks and changes. Like I played one last week and was starting to like it a little bit more. Finally had a decent game. I got over 100 million, but it's not one of those things I'm super consistent yet. Like, what's your grand champion on X-Men? Is it easy to score or is it still kind of difficult?
Yeah, it's difficult. I can get like 30
Hmm.
million on an average game, I want to
Hmm.
say. My high
Yeah.
is like, I don't think I've hit 200 million.
Mm,
It's
yeah.
one something.
Mhm.
I'd
Yeah.
have to check.
All right.
Yeah, it's a
You
hard
ready?
game. That's the other thing. It's similar to
Hmm.
it's a low scoring game, right?
Hmm.
And there's I haven't really I will say there was a Facebook message by our top player, Cody,
Hmm.
in our tournaments. He's like
Hmm.
number 1 in Iowa, and
Yeah.
he beat the game. He
Oh,
beat
really?
X-Men. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Like
Yeah.
he
I
tweeted
still don't
he
know what to do
messaged, it
when I
was
get to
like,
the future. It's
yeah, I
like,
got
yeah,
yeah, he figured it out and like
yeah,
got end credits or something.
yeah. I think out of the Marvel pins that exist, this would be still the one that I would be most likely to get if I was gonna get one. I think I'm kind of over buying new pins at this point because I can play them on location everywhere. But the theme, I mean, Days of Future Past, like this version of X-Men, like such good feels. So from a theme standpoint, fun layout. I'm hoping to have some more good games on it. All right, we ready to
Yep.
vote?
Let's do it.
All right, Andrew, get in there, poke 'em.
Poke 'em, poke 'em. Here we go. Let's
All
reveal the
right.
votes.
This is my first S tier
Oh,
game. Yeah. Even though I had
S
some
tier.
small complaints, I was like, I think personally, this is one of the better Stern titles out there. I know like a lot of people hate it for whatever, but theme for me, it's still like my favorite so far. I think I
Yeah.
like this. I would play this
Where am I?
over Jaws when I see them side by side together personally. So
Yeah, put it in the A. I got a lot in the A.
yeah.
I can't put it next to Jaws. That's why.
Yeah. I see. Your
Like
Jaws
I'll
is
put
still your top. You're such a
it's
Keith Elwin whore. Like
I
you're a
know.
Keith Elwin, you know,
I know.
tattoo is showing. Like you're
His
fanboy. It's
he's so good.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
I,
I don't
I
know
would
what to
say
say.
I might be a Danger fanboy. I love like Foo Fighters. So okay, we got four more. We got Avatar pinball from Jersey Jack. So I'll start with this one. So Jersey Jack, I got to play this I think pretty early. And it from a Jersey, I think it's one of the best Jersey Jack pinball machines that I played. So from a layout standpoint, I would even say it's probably one of the best promotional trailer videos that I've ever seen put together too. I think that helped sell me on the game when I learned about like the history of them putting this together. But it includes all the Avatar movies. It's pretty fun. I think Gary Hardy was saying this is like the only reason why he can't get too into it is because he doesn't know the movies enough.
Right.
So he doesn't know the names of certain shots. Like this is the AWOL tower shot, and this
Right.
is the other it's not common language, it's Navi. So you have to be a true fan to kind of like know what you're doing. Otherwise, it's like, hard to play. But from a layout standpoint and the colors and the theme, I thought they knocked it out of the park. So this was a really good table for me.
Yeah, so we have this on location
Hmm.
at the where I go a lot,
Hmm.
and we don't play this in the tournaments.
Why?
So there's a handful of games that are not allowed to be in the tournament, like
Hmm.
Godzilla. We never play in the tournament,
Too
and
long.
it's too long. Like
Mm.
some of the great players will just they'll
Take
beat the
forever.
game,
Yeah.
and they're on it forever.
Hmm.
I think so. The only Jersey Jack we play in the tournament is Dialed In. It's a
Okay.
nice balanced game, and it
Hmm.
can do well at trying to figure out who's good that night. Um, I'm assuming Avatar is like that.
Hmm.
So I like Avatar, but it's a weird game for me. It's not
Hmm.
like I'm rushing to play it. It's not like
Hmm.
I'm just constantly swiping. I'm like, oh, I gotta play it again. Gotta play
Hmm.
it again. It's kind of like, okay, I've played everything else. Yeah, I guess I'll play Avatar. And I swear, this is the other weird thing. I rarely pay for Avatar because Avatar is one of those games where there's like someone went up to it, coined in, is on their first ball, drained, and there's a ball in the plunger, and
And they walk away.
I don't even understand it. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I guess I'll finish your game. You only have like 5,000 points on. Like they hit a shot, and I don't know
They're
why it
just like,
didn't
nah,
auto
not for
plunge.
me.
I don't understand. Maybe it's ball two. I don't know.
Maybe.
But everyone walks up to it, and we're like, "There's no reset on it." So you gotta like play the game if you want to play your own
Oh,
game, and then you're
I see.
like,
I see.
and then you can also get on our game for whatever reason, yeah, you can get an extra, what is it, a free game pretty easy.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that it's got,
Ways
it's
to
not like
continue playing.
Deadpool. You walk up to Deadpool, it's got like 10 credits on it. That game for some reason just like is super easy to get credits on. And I think I'll see like 2 or 3 credits on Avatar. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's play it.
Yeah. All right. So let's see where people vote on this. So for me, yeah, this was Jersey Jack has been doing, I think, one reveal per year. I think it's still like I'd rather play this way better than Godfather. Elton John, though, I would say was very, very good though. So we didn't not talking about last year's pins, but it's definitely up there for their Jersey Jacks. All right. Are
Yeah,
you ready?
that's yeah. Elton John's pretty good.
Elton
Okay.
John's pretty good. All right.
Ooh.
Ooh, we also differ
Oh,
on
you
this.
said it's an
Justin said-
A.
from a Jersey Jack standpoint, like I think it's still one of the top machines that I've played this year. It was like I didn't have a ton of complaints about it. Like I like the different playfield levels. Some people don't like lower playfields, but I thought it was fun. I was like able to like shoot the crab a little bit and like get down there. So yeah, I felt like I had a couple good games. So
Yeah, it's all right. I remember Biggie's in the chat. We played Avatar together. I think he beat me.
yeah,
I think Biggie, you got a higher score than I did when we played it. But we played the what's it called? The collector edition that's got the topper at the top. I'll agree. The game is beautiful.
Yeah. Now I'm looking at my list. I have a lot of A's too. Go ahead.
They cranked up the sound when I very first played it, and you could really get immersed in the visuals and the audio.
Yeah.
I give it all of that. But for some reason, like I was saying before, this is why I gave it a B. I'm not rushing to like, I gotta go to the arcade because I gotta play Avatar.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
Pat's
I'm starting
here.
to do
He
that
says,
with,
"Go ahead."
I'm starting to do that with John Wick, where I'm like, hey, I
You
gotta
want to go play
John Wick.
John Wick? You're okay.
I don't know why.
Pat says Godfather is S tier, so we all have opinions, even though some of them are wrong. Just saying.
All right.
Okay. We're at Alice right now is our next one. I'm looking at my list. I have 5 games that are in the A tier. So Alice in Wonderland, or Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I don't know the official. I think that's what it is, by Dutch Pinball. The longest line at Expo, and it was all to play this game by Dutch. So what are your thoughts?
I think we only got to play. I think I only played it. Was it once or twice? Maybe once. Maybe only one time. I can't remember.
3 times at least.
You played it 3 times.
It's a long line. Yeah.
So this one's weird, right? Everyone was trying to figure out how to get him to the upper playfield. I think I don't think I ever got it up there. And
I didn't get on it.
Is it an upper playfield? It's like a ramp.
There is.
I can't
There
remember.
is. Yeah. There is a ramp up there.
Okay. The game is beautiful. The theme
Gorgeous.
doesn't call to me necessarily. At Expo, it wasn't my favorite. If Back to the Future is really coming out by Dutch, this game taught me that they could do a great job at Back to the Future. Like I can appreciate the quality of Dutch. I've heard a lot of great things about Dutch, played this, and I was like, hey, it's just the game wasn't fun for me. But it's also like, I only played it one time.
Yeah.
Wasn't it only 2 balls?
It was, they only give you 2 balls, so you gotta have more time on it to be able to get it. Jason says he thinks the Wonderland Amusements pinball will shoot better than this. So we gotta wait till they actually release it before we add them to the list. But maybe we'll add that to next year's tier list if we do this again.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Big ED has a great note about Avatar looking better in the dark too. It definitely makes the setting. So
Yeah.
I think the original thing was like people didn't like the art because it was like slutty Alice. But once I saw it in person and I saw just like the look and beautiful, I was like, okay, I don't mind slutty Alice. It gives me something to look at. So from a theme integration standpoint, like it was the most well done, gorgeous playfield, hands down.
I just
like
saw the
masterpiece artwork.
ball lock
It's
right there. Multi.
on
If
the
I would have got
underplay
that,
field. Yeah.
I probably would have really enjoyed it.
Like look at the just artwork on it. Even the little like mushrooms on the like little playfield outlanes and things like that. Like it was just gorgeous. And so the other thing, like, have you played a lot of Big Lebowski?
Mm-mm.
No? Lebowski, if you ever get to play one, is a really fun game. So from a Dutch pinball standpoint, like I became a Dutch fan playing Lebowski, even though I don't really know the movie that well, and some people
Yeah.
say it's a cult classic, but the play and the style of it, right? You know, Stearns play fast because they have strong flippers and things, and then you have older titles or like Pulp Fiction, right? You know, it's like a slower table. Did you play a lot of Pulp Fiction? You did, like
Yeah.
at Expo.
Yeah.
Alice is a slower pinball table, just like Lebowski too. So it doesn't shoot fast like a Stern. It's floaty. So you have to get used to that style of gameplay before you can start hitting shots.
Dialed
And
in
then
is like that, and I
eventually,
love that.
yeah. So I think people, it's hard to get a feel with it for only two balls, but it has potential. Like, and I know my guy from Ace Gogi is definitely gonna get one. So if I'm gonna go play
That's
one,
cool.
it'll be up there. But yeah, I don't think these have been out on location yet. So hopefully soon,
All
people
right.
will start getting them.
Let's see how it is. Okay. In the chat, we got a link. Here's the vote. Reveal the votes.
Oh, it's a C for you, Justin.
Oh, and you
Wow.
gave it an A.
Yeah, just because I love I love Lebowski, and I
I
just think
see.
it's gonna be one of those things that, like, if I play it more, I'm gonna like it. But maybe I just haven't played it enough, and I like it because it's a beautiful machine. Who
I hear
knows?
you.
Yeah. So
That's my vote right now at
okay.
this moment in time based on Expo.
Yeah.
I had to put it next to
Yeah.
Abba.
Okay. Okay.
It
That's
didn't
where it is?
call to me.
Okay. All right. And I'm looking at my list too, because when you finish tier listing, you look at it, like you're like, do these all belong together? Because then
Right.
eventually you can like rank these all in the A's and do they really belong there up and down? So I may look at my list afterwards and see where we're at. Okay,
Yeah.
but we got two more. We
Okay,
got
let's go.
Metallica, the last one that we've actually played. We haven't played Spooky. So what are your thoughts on Metallica? Or is it
Okay.
my turn to go?
I don't remember.
Yeah, go
I'll
ahead.
ask you. What do you think
Okay.
of Metallica?
All right, Metallica. I got to play it just once or twice at Expo, but I played it a lot last week on Friday because my local guy at I Need a Miracle Pinball
That's
got a
awesome.
premium,
Nice.
and holy smack! Like I played the old version of Metallica a handful of times, but this was the first time I started like playing the game and understanding the game, and the fact that you can stack multi balls was insane. So there's so many different ways to get multi balls in this game. You hit Sparky at the top like 10 times, and that does a Sparky multi ball. There's that like progressive drop target thing that you like, the Grave multi ball. There's a hammer multi ball where you hit that a couple times and it hammers it into the playfield. And then there's a snake multi ball. There's 4 easy kind of multi ball targets. And again, once you get one of those other ones, I think you have to get Sparky loaded and ready, and then you do one of the other multi balls, and then you start Sparky, and you get 6 balls on the playfield, and it's like really easy to do. And then from there, you're just hitting different ramps to target. So I started to really like this after I started kind of understanding the game more, and so it was fun. I just I should have played the original a little bit more, but getting those and playing it and the retheme, it just felt really fun to me. So I thought they did a good job with the skin and the retheme, and yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very good. Unfortunately, I can only play this game currently while traveling. And Metallica was one that I really wanted to play. The old version, because it has a feature, and I've been talking about this for a while. There's a feature that is in, what is it? It's in the James Bond 70th edition. It's the inline drop targets.
Yeah, the inline drop targets. Yeah, just like
I just think that's the coolest thing ever. And I said it in some post on Facebook like a couple of years ago. I was like, hey, does anyone know like a list of games that have inline drop targets?
That has these?
And Metallica was one of them. And I was like, okay, I got to play Metallica, but there's not one in my area. And then we went to Expo, and then I got to play the original, and I was like, this game is great. I love it, right?
Yeah.
And then we stood in line and we got to play at Expo. And I was with Stringer Films, and we both got like really good score. Like for the first time, like I'm very new to Metallica,
Yeah.
and it was definitely the first time. I think I got 140 million, and
Yeah.
everyone was pissed because of
It
like
took so long to play. Yeah.
Stringer and I were like playing for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the good thing about a good sign of a pin where it's, like, easy to pick up but hard to master, like,
Yes.
Metallica's like that, like, it's good for casual people to like, maybe if you're not a Metallica fan, from a pinball standpoint, Borg did a good job of a layout that's forgiving on shots and lets you play the game and enjoy it, like, I love pins that, like, I felt like I was doing stuff, and I looked at the score and was like, "Yeah, I feel good about my
Yeah, you feel good.
340,000,000 that got, like, high score number 1," you know? Like, I was almost grand champion by 30,000,000 points, like, but it was just day 1 that it had it. Yeah, and it looks good. I think they did a good job from a redesign. You remember when we talked to Jody 2 years ago at Comic-Con, and
Yeah,
we
yeah,
kind of were like he was kinda talking like, "This could be a thing where you might have an
yeah,
old music pin that comes back." This was it. This is the realization of that
yeah, yeah.
conversation 2
That's
years
right.
ago, right?
He's like, yeah, he said a
Yeah.
handful of things. He said they
Mhm.
were gonna redo Star Wars.
Mhm.
It was like he was having a conversation with somebody else. Remember that?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
he was
it
all
was
like,
Ernesto and
yeah,
Josh. He was talking to
yeah.
Ernesto.
He goes, a lot of
Yeah,
people wonder if we're
yeah,
gonna do another Star Wars. Yeah, we're doing that.
yeah.
Yeah, just
Mhm.
eventually we'll totally do another Star Wars. And we're like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Like he's just dropping all this stuff. Yeah, we're probably gonna remake something like a Metallica,
Mhm.
or maybe an
Mhm.
AC/DC. It was like,
Mhm.
oh, you started with the one you're really gonna do, and then threw
Yeah,
in
I'm
some
gonna go back
others.
and watch, like, our little recap video for that day when we were walking back
We
and just,
should.
like, let's see we'll do that on an episode of one of these where I don't think many people watched our, like, just walk back stream, but it would be fun to see what came true from
Yeah,
a
all the
conversation
thing
2 years
Jody
ago.
told us that ended up being real.
He was like, "These guys aren't, like, anybody's." Ernesto and Josh.
Ernesto.
Alright, let's do final votes for this, and then we got one final one. Where are we at?
All right,
Alright.
here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, S tier for you, huh?
For me, it was that good. I
I
just like
just
when I looked
can't
at
put
my list
anything. I can't put it
next to
next to
Jazz.
Jaws.
You cannot? You cannot? For me
I
this
swear to you,
year
like Jaws
yeah.
ruined it for me. Jaws ruined pinball for me
Oh, man, it's that good?
because
You're
nothing else is
such
as
an
good as
L1
Jaws.
fanboy, like,
No,
oh
but
my
even his
goodness.
other stuff is not like. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, but I like Jaws more than Godzilla.
Yeah, oh, okay, okay.
I
Interesting
mean,
take there.
Godzilla is an
Yeah,
amazing game,
yeah.
but I
My s
love Jaws that much. If I could only have one machine, it would be
Mhm.
Jaws.
Yeah. My Stern fanboy is showing, right? Because like I still feel like they make some of the best games out there.
Yeah.
But all right, final title, which is more speculation because we haven't played it. We've only seen some of the actual gameplay footage, but it did count as a title that was actually announced and in production in 2024. So where does Spooky Evil Dead land for you? So what do you think?
This is tough.
Where do you
Because
think it's gonna
we
land?
haven't played it. I
Mhm.
think we both watched the reveal. We watched the
Mhm.
featurette.
Mhm.
I think I watched some of the longer form, whatever.
Mhm.
Maybe not everything though.
Mhm.
I think it's going to be great.
Mhm.
It's got a lot of unique things to it with a double barrel shot.
Mhm.
What other game is that kind of like? Twilight Zone?
Maybe. I think they do have 2, shooter lanes or, like, 2 things where it can shoot out once it gets into that
Yeah,
area.
Twilight Zone has that, right? Where the ball
Mhm,
can actually come back there and
mhm.
it'll either,
Yeah.
yeah. So not exactly, but the fact that it's integrated with the double, the
Mhm.
shotgun is
Yeah.
cool. There's the ball lock. I was looking at. There's not a lot of games that I have. Like
Mhm.
I think Godzilla is the only game that I have that has a physical that has 3 physical ball locks. Yeah,
Mhm.
but this game does 3 physical ball locks.
Yeah.
But I haven't played it. It could totally suck, right?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna vote based on what I think how I think it will perform, or
Yeah. I
how
mean, that's all
much
you can
I'll
do with
enjoy.
these. And when, like, there's a lower play field, there's a lot of toys, features. I know that, Carrie Hardy has said that this is gonna be Spooky's quote unquote Godzilla, right?
Mm,
Their best version of a game they put out. I'm also judging it by Spooky's track record. Like, I've played other Spooky games like Scooby Doo and
yeah.
Halloween and some other things that don't physically play that well. Like, there's issues with those games, the
Mm,
build quality of like Scooby-Doo, and I was like, why is the lock bar down bar like loose, and like I get balls stuck in different places. So
mm.
I don't know if I trust yet spooky to deliver
Yeah,
like
but
a good
Looney
gameplay
Tunes, and
experience.
you played that.
Yes, Looney Tunes
Texas
and
Chainsaw
Texas
Massacre.
Chainsaw actually did play much better than their previous ones. And those were in production in 2023. That's why they're not on this list. They came out in December of 2023. So they just missed the cutoff for 2024. Otherwise, I think those would have been much better games.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
we should
Mhm.
do another vote just
Mhm.
on the topper.
Best topper I've seen implementation. Oh, and so also Evil Dead is one of those things that as a theme, I remember watching this as a kid, but I haven't watched this movie since I was a kid.
Mm.
Like I remember watching this when I was a teenager, or like, and just like, oh, this is kind of a fun movie that I rented, or like I used to own a video store, so I remember people renting this all the time. And I
Ah,
remember watching, I think I watched Army of Darkness first as one of the first things that I watched, and then I never watched the original. I was like, oh, this is an Evil Dead movie. It's kind of a funny thing. But it's not one that I ever really connected with much afterwards. So for me personally, theme is just like, okay, some people are like, this is the best theme ever. Like Michael B loves this.
yeah.
But yeah, I think jury's still out. It's a spooky game. All
All right. Let's find out.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's final reveal.
Game. Let's go.
Oh, Pat's got and Con
Con L
L01
with
S
an
tier.
S tier already, giving it the preemptive S tier. Me, just on a spooky tracking record, it's a B for me, right? I think I don't trust it yet. I think that's just me. So this is gonna be down there until they can prove their worth.
All right, let's see. I think Adam or Andrew was gone. I'm gonna
Mhm.
refresh. I wish I could kick Andrew out. Can
It
can
keeps
I do that?
checking in. Yeah.
The reason why is I want everyone to vote S tier. Everyone hit S. Everyone hit S.
All right, everybody's hitting S tier. What is that they're gonna do?
How do I can I say like
Hit the S button.
hit the S button, everybody. Andrew, are you there, Andrew?
Hit the S button, Andrew.
Hit S. Ah, I can't remove him.
Yeah.
I don't think it's well. Maybe it'll still do it.
Okay.
No, it didn't do it. It's supposed to do confetti.
Oh,
we
if
all
everybody
agree.
picks the same thing.
Oh well,
I see.
whatever. It's kind of fun when everyone picks the same
But
thing.
agreement, Andrew. Oh, you can high five people too. That's funny.
Yeah.
All right, I see. High five people. All right. Well, this is fun. Andrew's mom called. He's still like hanging out there. All right. So let's take a look at my final list and then pull
Yep.
up your final list. Okay. So final list for me. This is my tier laker. In the S tier, I have X-Men and Metallica this year as my top pinball machines. In my A tier, I have Jaws, Ninja Eclipse, Funhouse, Godzilla, Avatar, and Alice. My B tier has Princess Bride, John Wick, and Evil Dead. C tier for Abba, and then Barrios as the trash tier. So let me see yours, and then I'm gonna think about if I would move anything. So
All right. So I have in my S tier, I got Jaws. For A tier, I have John Wick, Godzilla 70th, X-Men, Metallica, and Evil Dead. Evil Dead is, I'm guessing, it will be. I will, enjoy it at that level. For B tier, I got Princess Bride, and then Ninja Eclipse, Funhouse Remake, and Avatar, all on B. For C, nearly trash, is Abba and Alice, and then trash, which we agree on, is Barrios.
Yeah. Well, let me do one final thing. Let's put up a poll in the chat to see whose tier list do you think you agree with more, Justin's tier list or B's tier list? Whose tier?
You're gonna go back and forth.
Yeah, pinball 2024 tier list do you like better?
Are you doing a legit vote?
I'm doing a legit
Oh,
right now. All right, I just want to curiously start poll. Let's see. We have 49 people watching. I just put it in here. So again, there's Justin. His top one is Jaws, and he put John Wick as an A tier.
Go play it.
Everything.
What's the highest
you
score
need
you've
to
ever
know.
got on John Wick?
Like 110 million.
And you still don't like it?
Yeah, it's tough. It is so
Look,
tough.
I get it.
All right.
The theme is not great.
Yeah,
But I
it's
think
tough.
if you look at the playfield, you're
Okay.
like, that's a cool playfield.
All right, so that's Justin's. This is B's. It's hard to do a side by side because we're doing individual ones. So my top tier has X-Men and Metallica top, Jaws, Ninja Eclipse, Funhouse. I think I'm gonna keep all these in the. I think they all belong in the A tier. I think they're all equally pretty.
You're really shaming me on the John Wick. You make me want to put that into the B tier.
No, and there's no right or wrong. It's just people's opinions, and I'm glad that we have different things. So here's Justin's.
I think we should both move two things.
Yeah.
Two things.
Mhm.
we should move two things. Like you're
Okay.
forced to move two things.
All right. Like we have to move.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fun because I'm like,
All right.
what do you pick that you want to move?
All right. If I had to move something, I think I would move Avatar down. I don't think, it's one of the things where, from a theme perspective, and like, I'm not gonna, if I had to see all of those in a lineup, I think out of that list, Avatar would be the one I would play last. Even though Godzilla is still good, right? Like, maybe I wouldn't play that because I own it, but out of that list for new titles, I would move Avatar down. So that's one change I would do.
Okay.
I have to do another one.
Yeah.
Let's do one. You do one and I do one. And then
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Switch over to me.
Mm-hmm. All right. This is Justin.
Okay. I'm going to move John Wick to B. Because he shamed me. But no, it's fair. I won't buy this because I don't know the theme at all. Never watched any of the movies. I don't connect to anything that's on the screen. I don't know why everyone's trying to kill each other. Maybe it has something to do with his dog.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I just think the playfield is really good. I said this before to my operator, the bar manager. I was like, a lot of people would love. What was it? It was like, imagine John Wick was Goonies, but it's the same layout.
Same layout, like the fan layout with everything. Yeah, the fan layout is like simple to understand. I think it's one of the things it has going for it. But the way the layout is, like I have so many missed shots that just drain. So it's tough for new players to play. It's one of those, like, it's not easy for a new person to pick up and feel like they had a good time. So that's why.
Fair. Yeah. But I like it better than Turtles. So there you go.
Oh, yeah. Turtles.
So Turtles as a layout,
yeah,
I like worse, but I like Turtles theme.
Yeah.
So I would prefer Turtles theme with John Wick playfield.
So you moved the John Wick down. I moved Avatar down. Jason's saying like we got to put Metallica and Zilla up to S tier. But right now, out of the poll, by the way, just for curiosity's sake, I don't know if you can see it, Justin, but 71% of people enjoy.
Of course.
Well, people maybe they like X-Men better than Jaws, but your Elwin fanboy is showing. But it's Jaws, I think I think it definitely can be S tier once I play it more. I think I still need to get some good games on it. It's just a personal preference, and there's no wrong or right. It's everybody's fun tier list here, but we'll post these afterwards. I think that'll be fun to share out. Maybe we'll do it in a community post as well, and let us know. Make your own tier list.
You gonna move one more?
Do you want to move one more?
And then we're done.
Last one. All right. If I have to move one more out of this list, I like the thought of like having only one S tier game. I think some people are like, yeah, there can only be one, but sometimes S tier, you can have multiple S tiers for sure.
If you were forced to only have one,
if I was forced to only have one, I would move Metallica down because X-Men the theme is 50%, if not 75% of why I love that game.
Biggie D says, keep in mind, both of your S tiers are brand new Stern games.
They are, but from the
is the S tier just hype?
No. S tiers are like when you play like a lot of times tier lists are used for fighting games and you have characters. So you can have multiple S tier characters and things for sure. There's no like needing to have one.
So X-Men, you love that theme. It is the best Marvel theme.
Best any Marvel theme. 100% like calling to me.
And Metallica, you said, was incredibly fun to play. It's just pleasure zone. You're just constantly enjoying the game.
But I can tell you, I can't. Besides Enter Sandman, I don't know any other Metallica song.
But that's the thing. If the game is like incredibly fun to play and rewarding, like you're gonna love it. I think that's why everyone loves Attack from Mars.
Yeah. All right, you got to move one more too.
Only one S tier.
Well, you already have it, so
yeah. Maybe no. I mean, no. Okay, I want to move something up.
Do it.
Okay, I'm gonna say X-Men's S tier.
Oh, look at you. Okay, and you just own both of these games, so you're not biased at all. You've just
not biased at all.
$10,000 on each of these games.
So I think X-Men is a lot of fun to play.
Yeah.
Even if it's a short game, it's still a lot of fun to play.
Yeah.
You can start a mode so easy in the game.
Mhm.
So if you guys don't know the game X-Men, go play it. This is a strategy I tell everyone, at the tournaments that are not playing very well. I was like, oh, have you played this game? Have you figured it out? And they're like, no, I haven't watched any videos on it. I'm like, okay, just go for the shot left of the Sentinel. Just spam that shot, okay? If you hit that shot twice, the first time you shoot it, it's going to go from white to blue, and when you shoot it again, you just now entered a mode, and you get to pick.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the easy modes, that shot that's just to the left of the Sentinel is the money shot. So, like I tell everyone, just practice that shot like crazy, because it's an easy shot to hit, but you have to hit it with oomph. You got to hit it with power so it comes back around on the wireframe,
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun to play.
Super
it's a
fun.
lot of fun.
Get out there. At the end of the day, if you're watching this and you haven't played pinball, I mean, we were talking about this because we spent a lot of time playing on locations, getting out there, going to conventions. Just get out and play. Use Pinball Map. Have some fun. I know people are saying, like, the funny thing about Biggie D being here, there was a point in time where Biggie D was like, there's all these people talking about pinball, and I want to talk about home arcade. Welcome to the Pinball Channel community, Biggie D, and getting out there and enjoying these. Because you can kind of see that it truly is for everyone, right? Whether you're casual and haven't played for a long time, anybody can pick these up, and it doesn't matter if you've played for years or just getting into it. It's just fun. So last thing to think about on here, you can get in here, you can save these tier lists, you can download these as well. I kind of want to go back to my old one and leave Metallica up here. I still feel like that's an S tier for me. If I had to move, I would move it down. But you can click save or download.
Sleep on it.
Yeah, sleep on it.
Let's post tomorrow our final results.
Yeah, we'll post tomorrow our final results. You can save this. We'll upload this to our community tabs. And this was fun, Justin. And out of 16 votes, 69% think I have a better tier list. So I'm just going to say that.
It's your channel, bud, right? Like, of course. You're like, how many people like B more than Justin on B's channel?
It's such a scummy thing to do, right? I just wanted to feel better about myself, Justin. Thank you so much. All right.
Well, they like you better, so and it's
What can I say? We're gonna be at CES. Biggie D said that it's gonna be a lot of fun. So stay tuned. We're gonna have some other things happening. Next week we'll talk about 2025 more. Yeah.
I think so. I mean, we still have the opportunity to change our mind on what the topic will be.
Yeah.
But I think that'll be fun.
Yeah. All right. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next time. Talk to you later. Bye.
See you.
Thanks.